Hi, this is odeean. Today I'm having a look at F4 Phantom from TFC Toys, part of the Uranos combiner, aka Slingshot from G1's Aerialbots, who combine to form Superion. So having a look at the box that he comes in, you can see the artwork is really moved up a notch from TFC. This is fantastic artwork that we get here, and it's as good as anything I've seen in comics or Hasbro boxes. It makes this box really nice to keep after you own it. So other than that, there's nothing too much to show on here, but the cardboard quality also seems a bit better than with the previous releases. Having a look at the figure itself, the first thing that you'll notice when you get it is that the plastic quality on Slingshot, or Phantom, I don't know which one I should call him, is really good. So I'll just give you a bit of a close-up to show you what I mean. This plastic is hard, the details are crisp, and it's really shiny. And for a plain transformer, the shininess, I feel, is really important. So the paint has been applied really well as well. So this is yellow paint. You can see the yellow there, but there's no shadows of the red coming through underneath. So the paint apps have been done to perfection. And in fact, the execution on this toy, I can really not find much to fault with it. It seems like it's been done perfectly to me. And compared with stuff that we've been buying at retail lately, this outperforms any of that stuff in all different kinds of metrics, from the durability of the joints, the amount of metal and pins used, the quality of the plastic, the quality of the light piping. Let's have a look at poseability. Well, we get 360 degrees of rotation at the shoulder. We get in and out at the shoulder. It's not ratcheted, so in time that may loosen. We have a swivel at the bicep. We have 90 degrees at the elbow. The wrist has it in and out, but this is due to transformation, and it doesn't have any rotation here, so it does limit it a bit at the wrist. At the waist, we have a ratcheted swivel. At the hips, we have ratcheted in and out and ratcheted backwards and forwards. Now you can hear that squeak. It's a little bit tight. I'm not sure what the long-term effects of that are. I haven't pulled this apart, but we had tight joints like that on Hercules, and it didn't really give me that much trouble. The ones that had the squeak, I did have some problems with Hercules, but the squeak wasn't one of them that ended up causing me that much damage. We have 90 degrees here at the knee and a rotation at the thigh. On the foot, we have a ball on this toe section, but it's really mainly a way of expediting the transformation and doesn't add too much usefulness as far as poseability is concerned. So the head also has an interesting articulation. You can see that it's on a ball joint, but the ball has a kind of snap-to point. Mine's a little bit off center, but you'll see that is kind of rigidly locks into a forward-facing position. So if you want your head rigidly forward-facing, it can, and as soon as you apply some pressure, you can move it to do all the usual movements that you would on a ball. So I don't know if that's deliberate, or maybe the ball in mine has a little bit of deformation that makes it lock like that, but I like that feature. So these shoulder pads as well can be posed how you like, and the missiles are detachable. Having a closer look at the missile pods, you can see they're also done in this really smooth plastic, and they have perfectly applied shiny metallic, I don't know, it's not metallic, it's just a silver on the ends. That's nice. Underneath, unfortunately, we do have this cavity, which you often get with molded plastic pieces, and it's also a bit unfortunate because that's the side you see from jet mode. But all in all, it's a nice enough weapon. You can get some really decent poses from the flexibility that he has. So it's not double jointed. Double joints would have been nice. Whoa, knocked him off the table. Double joints would have been nice, but you know, this is pretty good. I'm not really going to give any complaints about what we've got. And you can see that the one area that that ball does help with, I just whacked him into a pose and then moved the foot on the ball, and it just gives you the flexibility to balance him off no matter how you've put him down. Alright, let's have a look at the transformation. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to say about transformation is that these can come off, and that kind of, I'm not too happy about that. I prefer the parts on my toys to stay where they belong, but I do understand that they make these pieces pop off for two reasons: so that you don't break the toy, and it gives you a bit of choice where you're going to put it. So it can peg into his arms here. I don't see any other ports, but you know, a bit of flexibility. Maybe down the line, if they want to repurpose the mold, that can help them with that as well. There's been a lot of speculation about, are we going to see any seekers come out of these molds? Anyway, back to the point. Transformation. Fold this flap down, rotate the toe, bend it up. Do the same on the other side. Make the legs straight. Start to bring them together. I like to push them up just a little bit at this stage, just because it's a lot harder to push things up parallel to each other when they're joined. So by getting it started, just makes my life a little bit easier. These annoying things falling out all the time. Next, what we want to do is fold these fists up into the arm cavity, untab these side panels and extend them. We want to get this unit separated out. So I'm just going to put the nose like that for now. Now with the head, if you don't want to see the face, you can put it in this position and then it goes together like this. I personally prefer to keep the face facing downwards because I'm not looking at the plane from underneath, and it just gives it a little bit of a more sleek profile. So you'll see what I mean. I put it up like this and you get less of the bulk showing through. So if I did it the other way, there's like a lump underneath. I don't like that lump. So I leave the face downwards and put the nose of the plane like that, and I never look at it from underneath. Next, we want to bend these shoulders up as far as they'll go, and then just push the little flaps to make it flush against the nose. It seems like it's not made right. I mean, other people have the same issue, so it seems to be all of these, but we don't get a perfectly seamless connection here. It seems to me almost that maybe they made a mistake with the tolerances on this joint, or maybe it just wasn't practical to get it right. So the way they fixed that was to add this little flap here to hide it. It's not too much of a problem, but it does seem weird. Once that's up like that, the next thing we want to do is just rotate these to this position. We want to push that right up as far as it will go. Next, carefully pull this out like that. If any point on this toy is a weak point, then it's this. There's a lot of pins and a lot of thin pieces of plastic. I've got no evidence that it's going to crack. I've got no stress marks, and it seems to be going fine. But these are the smallest joints on the whole thing, so I think a bit of caution sliding through this slot is in order. So we ease that panel down into the gap between the legs and the body. Ease this part down, and these little tabs are going to go in. Mine had a little bit of mold flash on the tab when I first got it, and it was quite hard to get it in that slot. So if you've got that problem, it might pay to just sand it down a bit first, because excess force, I feel, in stretching this might snap it off. The problem's pretty much gone now for me, so just that little bit of force tabs it in, and you get a very secure bond there. Nicely done. These arm panels, finally, can move down. You just need to make a bit of clearance, and there's a tab here, so you push it in, fold it up, didn't go in. Oh, that's better. So push that tab in, and then this little tab on the wing will squeeze in like that. So now once it's done, it's really rock solid. I know it looked a bit flimsy the way I was doing it there, but that's mainly because I'm trying to show it on camera. if I wasn't having to hold this out at arm's length, I wouldn't have had any issue doing that. It is pretty good to do under normal circumstances. So again, on the other side, a tab in that wing. That just leaves us free to pose the wingtips how we like. And that's a really fantastic looking plane. I mean, I've got to say, this is probably my new favourite plane transformer. It's super shiny, crisp paneling detail all over it on the wings here. Paint job is perfectly done, crisp, and there's nothing lacking here. We get a nice see-through cockpit with the yellow colour. I think if I remember correctly, that was the same as we got with G1. And we have a silver painted set of chairs inside and silver detail on the outside of the cockpit itself. And I know it's not showing up on camera here, but even inside the front where the control panel is, they've painted the control panel black. So they haven't spared any effort in making this detail, which is really fantastic. Even paint detail inside these intakes, it's covered in good detail all over the place. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what's that ugly screw hole doing right there and not everywhere else? There are 4 ugly screw holes on this plane, here, 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 and here. But luckily, TFC have been good enough to give us these tiny little panels to cover up the screw holes with. So this last one of mine is a little bit loose, and I need to apply a little bit of super glue to make it stay there. The other 4 are tight and they're not going to come out. This one just falls out. It's no big deal, tiny little drop of super glue and that problem will be solved, and it's let me show you where it goes anyway, so that's not too bad. The weapons on the jet mode. So underneath we have 2 separate tabs, but the wheels are going to interfere with this one, so you can do it there if you want, but if you're going to be using the landing gear at all, that gets in the way of this hole. So I choose to put the weapons in this position on the inner peg holes. I like them to poke forward a little bit like that. I know you can see the cavity there, but it's not too bad. Something about the forward poking gives it a speedy, swept forward kind of look. I really like that. I'm really impressed with this. I don't know if that's coming across, but I'm really impressed with this plane mode. There's almost no way to look at these to make it look bad. Even from the underside, if I hadn't left the face showing, it still looks pretty good, even from the underside. And that's a big achievement when it comes to Transformers. Not many Transformer planes can pull that off. Alright. How do we get this guy into arm mode for the combined robot? It's pretty simple. Just going to pull these missiles off, fold the wings back. It's kind of just like going to robot mode, basically. So we put these flaps up, dislodge these end pieces, carefully feed this bar back through there, dislodge the little flap, just like you're going to go back to robot mode, and tab together at the back the part of the plane. So the head, you might want to fold away just so you don't see his face poking through. Next, you're going to untab this wing section from the super tight now. There we go. And fold the arms back on themselves, just like they're going to robot mode. And it's pretty much it. I mean, now it's kind of up to you, personal preference, how you want to display it. So we've got the, I've forgotten a key detail here. Got to fold this flap to reveal the connection point. So I should have had this flap folded back for the plane mode, I just forgot it. So this is a standard connection point, just like the one with Hercules or with the Energon combiners, and this can actually join to the Hercules robot if you so choose. So these wings need to fold back like this, And then what you can do is just turn this around. Now, it depends how you want it to be. You can pull it out a little, and you can get a kind of double jointed elbow like this. I think that it looks a bit weird. I don't like it pulled out. I mean, look at this. It's janky. It looks like a half transformed toy. I think the best way to do it is to just put it in about halfway. This keeps falling out. It's kind of the weak point of the toy. Put it in about halfway like this. Grab the fist unit. It just pegs in exactly the same as Hercules' fist pegs in, just with a kind of rod between the two legs. And then there you go. That's the arm. Put your weapons in the holes that you've got left here. I mean, I guess you could put one on the back of the fist, but it doesn't really give you room. It bumps into the end here. So the only spot left are these two holes. It's kind of like a kind of laser attack, I don't know. And there we have a big arm. So comparing that to Hercules' arm, you can see it's pretty much, in general, it's the same size. But I think that is kind of deceptive. I think that this guy is going to be bigger than Hercules. And what makes me think that is, turning around this way, look at the connection point. So on Hercules, the connection point is, on X-Graver, sorry, the connection point is right way down here in the middle. On Slingshot, it's closer to the shoulder. So his arm is really going to be sitting lower on the toy when it's combined, meaning that the whole toy is going to have to be higher to make that look right. So with any luck, this is going to be bigger. I'm not sure how I feel about Superion being bigger than the Devastator, but just as far as cool toys go, it's always good to be bigger, I think. So my final thoughts on Slingshot, or F4 Phantom. This is a fantastic toy. Now, I don't know that it would be fantastic if I had paid what places like Big Bad Toy Store are charging for it, $100 before you even pay shipping. That's nowhere near what I paid for this. I paid $75 shipped. For $75 shipped, that's a perfectly acceptable price. I mean, of course, I would like it cheaper, but, you know, in the realm of these figures, $75 shipped is pretty good. That was off a Hong Kong resident that I found through eBay who did a pre-order. So they've since stopped offering pre-orders on the other ones. I don't know, maybe they weren't making enough money. I don't know, but I might go up to 80 and get this off the next one off Chumung or somewhere. I'm not too sure, but I'm not going to jump the gun and buy two of these guys early like I did with Hercules. Hercules was a kind of one-off thing. He was the Devastator. We never had good Devastator as far as I'm concerned, and Hercules was the thing that broke that drought, and I really wanted the robots in their robot mode and in the combined mode. But with Superion, I don't like Superion that much. I like the Aerialbots, but I don't care too much for Superion. So I'm only going to need one set, at least for the time being, of these. And, you know, who knows, maybe if the Uranos grows on me, I might get another one, but I'm not committing to that now. So I'm not going out there and just buying. I'm going to look for good deals with these guys, especially because TFC have shown us now that they keep these things around for a long time, and maybe even do gift boxes in the long run. So do I recommend buying it? Yep, go out, buy it. It's worth it. It's a good figure. You won't be disappointed. In fact, you'll probably be really happy with it. One other thing I wanted to touch on, the name. Uranus was a perfectly good name. I never made fun of it, and I think that it wasn't a good idea for TFC to change it to Uranos. Uranos sounds like some kind of meat sandwich, and Uranus is like a god, which was perfect counterpart to go with Hercules. It's disappointing that kind of juvenile attitude that pervades the internet was enough to push TFC to change their plans and give it a slightly dumber name than what it had to begin with. But, you know, at least it shows that TFC are aware of what fans are doing and paying attention. So it's kind of double-edged. It's good and it's bad. But anyway, that aside, this has been my video review for TFC Toys Phantom. Thanks for watching.